Hello students, welcome to my class. I, Dr. Swati Pandya, welcomes you. Welcome to the new session. Today we will start chapter 2, Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. It is a very interesting topic and the flower parts as well as the flower, everybody knows its importance. Human beings have an intimate relationship with flower since many times. Flowers actually are the object of aesthetic, ornamental, social, religious and cultural value. And they are related to the human important feelings like love, affection, happiness, grief, mourning, etc. So, the study related to flower is one of the syllabus in our book. Let us start with the structure of flower and some related things. Biologically, if we move to the definition, we'll see that flowers are morphological and embryological structures which are special site for sexual reproduction. This word sexual reproduction we have better understood earlier in previous chapter. So you better know sexual reproduction requires two individuals, gamete production, fertilization and embryogenesis. So in this chapter all the events we will learn step after step. Students, do you remember the names of flower parts? Actually they are shown in the diagram, but before that can you tell me the name of certain plants which flower surrounding you? There are so many trees and plants which are available in your surrounding areas where different colorful flowers are observed. I am giving a little time to think about it. So, you might have recall certain names. I think Gulmohar tree, banyan tree, dhatura, etc. And definitely ornamental flowers, ornamental plants like rose, champa, lily, tulip, lotus, they are obvious. So if we see different flowers, different structure, shape, size, color, it has great variations. But basically four flower parts they are observed. Their names are first calyx, second corolla, third androecium and fourth gynoecium. And in the same chronological order we are able to observe these position of these floral parts. In a floral bud condition they are definitely arranged and one after the other we are able to see all these parts. In diagram also it is shown to you guys. So flower it is indicating this is the whole structure of flower which you are able to see, and in line diagram, in colorful diagram it is observed that all the four parts, first is calyx and the units of calyx they are sepals which are almost green leafy structures. Then second part is corolla. Corolla comprises of various colorful petals, rose petals which we are very much familiar with. So this is the petal part. Here the purple colored structures they are comprising the petals. Then followed by androecium. Androecium are actually the male reproductive part. Here two parts they indicate the androecium. The unit of androecium is stamen. This is stamen. And lastly gynoecium. Gynoecium indicates the female reproductive part. Here the centermost area comprises of this carpel. Carpel is the basic unit. So here the carpel which comprises of three parts. The uppermost is stigma, followed by style and lastly ovary. Stamen also comprises of these parts which are shown in the next diagram. The uppermost part is anther, and the stalk-like structure, it is known as filament. Both are connected with connective. Let's see the detailed structure of all these parts. First, we will start with stamen. Here, the diagram indicates the more detailed parts. Structure of a typical stamen comprises of a long, slender, stalk-like structure known as filament and a terminal, generally bilobed structure known as anther. This is an anther. And if we cut a transverse section, we are able to see detailed structure like this. A typical angiosperm anther is actually a bilobed structure with each lobe having two theca. Theca are the layer, and they are known as dithecous. Di means two. So two layers are found. The anther is a four-sided, that is tetragonal structure consisting of microsporangia, which are located at the corners, two of each lobe. Again, if we see the diagram, these are the lobes, both the sides. A microsporangia develop further and become pollen sacs. So here the pollen sacs, they are explained, they are indicated, and from where the pollen grains, they are formed. When the pollen grains, they are developed, they are released from these pollen sacs. They extend longitudinally all through the length of the anther and are packed with the pollen grains. So this is the length. This is the whole length. The pollens, they are produced and formed. I will end this session today. We will meet in the next session. Till then, stay safe, stay home, and take care.